Got English? Dr. Dave here to demonstrate how to adjust your aim for squirt, swerve, and throw when using side spin. Squirt, also called cue ball deflection, refers to the sideways motion of the cue ball caused by an off-center hit. Instead of the cue ball going straight in the direction of the cue, it goes off at an initial squirt angle. The amount of squirt depends on the properties of the shaft and the amount of side spin. With a center ball hit, the cue ball heads straight. With a hit on the right side, the cue ball squirts to the shooter's left. And with a hit on the left side, the cue ball squirts to the shooter's right. With this cue and shot distance, squirt sends the cue ball about a full ball off target. Interestingly, for this particular shot, the squirt is just the right amount to pocket this ball with an extreme back cut in either direction. Here are two example shots using side spin where you must adjust your aim for squirt. Using outside spin with the tip on the outside of the cut direction, if you aim assuming the cue ball will go in the direction of the cue, squirt will cause a thick hit. And using inside spin with the tip on the inside of the cut direction, again, if you aim assuming the cue ball will go in the direction of the cue, squirt will cause a thin hit. So to compensate for squirt, you need to aim thinner when using outside spin. And you need to aim thicker when using inside spin. The tricky part is knowing how much to adjust for every distance and spin amount. The method I just used to compensate for squirt is called backhand English, or BHE, where you aim center ball and then move your back or grip hand to pivot your cue on the bridge to apply the desired amount of side spin. If your bridge length is the right amount for your cue, the cue ball will head in the desired direction. For more information, see the link in the video description. This is what the backhand pivot looks like. Notice how the front bridge hand is stationary. BHE works for any amount of side spin. Here, I'm using just a small amount of spin. And here, I'm using almost maximum spin. However, if your bridge length is too short for your cue, BHE will cause too much squirt correction. And if your bridge length is too long for your cue, BHE will not compensate enough for squirt. But with the proper bridge length for your cue, BHE can be a very effective method to compensate for squirt. You may have noticed that I've been using fairly fast speed and/or short distance for the squirt and BHE demonstrations so far. I did this to minimize swerve, the curving of the cue ball's path in the opposite direction from squirt. Swerve depends on shot speed and distance, cue elevation, and cloth conditions. The cue ball doesn't swerve much at fast speed. The cue ball swerves the least with a near-level cue, but even with the cue as level as possible, the cue ball still swerves, and the swerve happens sooner for a larger effect at slower speed. Because the cue usually needs to be elevated to clear over the rails, and sometimes over balls, there is both squirt and swerve on every shot with side spin. The amount of swerve is larger with higher cue elevations and slower speeds. Again, at fast speed and a near-level cue, there is practically no swerve, especially on slick cloth. One way to compensate your aim for the combined effects of squirt and swerve is to use a combination of backhand English and fronthand English, or FHE. FHE is where you aim center ball and then move the front or bridge hand sideways to pivot the cue about the stationary back or grip hand. This is what a front hand pivot looks like. Notice how the back grip hand is stationary. Depending on the amount of squirt your cue's shaft produces, with a near-level cue, FHE alone can mostly compensate for the net effects of squirt and swerve for slow, long-distance shots. Remember, BHE works well with short and fast speed shots where swerve does not have time or distance to occur. For shots in between short and fast and long and slow, you can use a combination of BHE and FHE. A good way to figure out the percentages of each to use for your cue and conditions over a wide range of shots is to follow the procedure in my BHE FHE calibration drill document, linked in the video description. With my Revo shaft and my bridge length with the cue as level as possible, a short and slow shot requires 60% BHE and 40% FHE. Here it is again, together. And a medium distance, medium speed shot requires 70% BHE and 30% FHE. And a long distance, fast speed shot requires 40% BHE and 60% FHE. If you complete the entire calibration table for your cue, bridge length, and conditions, you will know how to compensate for squirt and swerve for a wide range of shots with any amounts or types of spin. You just need to aim carefully for a center ball shot, then pivot your cue with the necessary amounts of BHE and FHE, and then stroke perfectly straight, and the cue ball will go in the desired direction. Much more information and demonstrations related to BHE and FHE can be found on the How to Aim Pull Shots instructional video series and on the How to Aim when Using Side Spin resource page, both of which are linked in the video description. Another effect sometimes important when using side spin is object ball throw, where the side spin pushes the object ball off the expected line of center's impact direction. For a certain amount of side spin, called gearing outside English, the object ball heads exactly in the line of center's direction. Notice how the object ball heads in the desired direction and the stripe stays fairly vertical as the ball rolls. This is because gearing outside English results in no throw or spin transfer. For more information and demonstrations, see the Gearing Outside English link in the video description. When using less than a gearing amount of outside side spin, the object ball will throw in the direction of cue ball motion, as would occur with a slightly full hit. This is called cut-induced throw. Throw also causes spin transfer, which is why the stripe wobbles. When using an amount of side spin greater than the gearing outside amount, the object ball will throw in the direction of the spin, as would occur with a slightly thin hit. This is called spin-induced throw. Again, notice the stripe wobble due to the throw and spin transfer. One way to adjust for throw is to aim slightly thinner when using less than gearing outside spin, and to aim slightly fuller when using more than gearing outside spin. Here, with less than gearing outside spin, you can clearly see the slightly thin hit, with the cut-induced throw sending the object ball along the desired line. It is best to compensate your aim for throw first before adjusting for squirt and swerve if using side spin. Now let's look at a bunch of game situation examples where I'm using all the techniques in this video to compensate for squirt, swerve, and throw. With this shot, I need to send the cue ball around the table with running English to get shape for the 8. Because I plan to use a lot of left side spin, I first aim a little full since spin-induced throw will throw the object ball to my right. And since the shot distance is short and the shot speed will be fast, I use 90% BHE and 10% FHE based on my BHE-FHE calibration table. For the remainder of the examples, I'll just show the spin used, all the shot information, and the next ball. You can replay and think about the shots more if you need to. On my website, at the link in the video description, I have a complete list of and supporting resources for all squirt, swerve, and throw effects that influence shots when using side spin. Obviously, to develop and master intuition for all of these effects can take a lifetime, and only if you learn from all of your mistakes. Top players instinctively know how to compensate for squirt, swerve, and throw, and they aim and align their cue in the required direction immediately, without any pivots, based on shot speed, distance, amount and type of spin, and conditions. Hopefully, some of the simple techniques presented in this video might help you become more effective immediately and help speed up your learning journey. The important things to remember are the net effects of squirt and swerve, also called cue ball deflection, vary with shot speed and distance, cue elevation, amount and type of spin, and conditions, but they can be compensated for with appropriate combinations of BHE and FHE. Throw can be compensated for when aiming the shot, before the BHE-FHE pivots. On many shots, you can ignore throw, especially short shots on tables with big pockets. Throw is maximum and aim must be adjusted with slow stun shots close to and thinner than about a half ball hit. Other shots where aim should be adjusted for throw are slow roll shots and side spin shots where the amount of spin is very different from the gearing outside amount. Maximum throw is generally about 1 inch per foot of object ball travel, or about half a ball per diamond on a 9-foot table. For more information, see the throw tutorial page linked in the video description. If you want a Got English t-shirt like the one I was wearing in this video, it is available at drdavebilliards.com via the direct link in the video description. The shirt includes an illustration of squirt, swerve, and throw, and also includes the actual physics equations that explain all of the resulting effects. The shirt is fun for all of the pool nerds out there like me. When an opponent misses a shot due to lack of understanding of important side spin effects, you can just point out one of the equations on the shirt. They'll love it and want to get a shirt of their own. Again, for more information about everything in this video, see the resource pages in the YouTube video description.